You do not want to give the state this kind of authority. What's up, guys? This is GN Guy. If you like my content, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe. So, two more women who joined ISIS, who were former British citizens. I say former because the UK stripped them of their citizenship, quite executively, actually. As Shamima Begum wrote. So let's read this content. Evening Standard. Okay, and the two more ISIS brides have held with their young children in the Syrian refugee camp has been stripped of their British citizenship. It's been reported. It comes to roll after Islamic State runaway Shamima Begum continued following the death of her 3-week-old son. So, alright, so it was a 3-week-old. I was incorrect. According to the Sunday Times, two women who between them have 5 boys under age of 8 had their UK nationality removed by marrying into a terrorist cell linked to a murder of Western hostages. The Home Office said they did not comment on individual cases. The spokesman added, all decisions are derived for individuals of their citizenship are based upon available evidence and not taken lightly. The paper quoted legally, I was going to use that excuse, but I want to see that. I haven't seen that kind of the process that went through. And I'm very concerned about how fast and how executively the government acts on this. And there's definitely is a need for executive authority that could move swiftly. We don't want to have a bogged down legislative branch. No, we don't want that. But that can be easily abused. There needs to be checks and balances on power. Individuals and decisions based on all available evidence, not taken lightly. The paper quoted legal sources naming the women as Reema Iqbal, 30, and her sister Zara, 28, whose parents are originally from Pakistan. It reported that the sisters left Syria in 2013. Zara was heavily pregnant with her second child, and she made the journey and later had a third. The paper said the Reema was 2 sons, one of whom was born in Britain. Home Secretary Sajid Javid came under renewed scrutiny on Saturday, stripping Ms. Begum of her citizenship after emerged that her baby son had died in the Syrian refugee camp. I feel either which way. I don't feel positively or negatively about her losing a child. It's the mother's decision. She went to Syria to aid and abet ISIS, and her child died due to her fault. It's not the UK government's fault. They did not push her to go to ISIS. No, it was her own volition. She went to ISIS. She's losing her citizenship now, and 3 of her kids died. And I hope she doesn't have any kids because, one, I don't want to see more children dying or living in this hellhole. And whatever kids she has is gonna live a terrible life because of her reputation. She's already famous, and people are gonna know who she is. Not even under a burqa you're gonna get away with that. You can't hide anymore. You can't go off the grid. People are gonna recognize you now. Miss Begum, who fled the UK and blah 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 at age 15, had earlier begged to return to the UK with her boy, but Mr. Javid revoked her passport amid fierce public debate. Stripping citizenship is only legal if individuals had a second one, and that thought she may have claimed to Bangladesh because of her family background. But Bangladesh officials has denied this. Stripping Caliph Mizar Mazur Ahmed, who represents tens of millions of Ahmadi Muslims worldwide, urged Muslim communities to show sympathy for her. Really? Are you kidding me? So, if you don't know what an Ahmadi Muslim is, it's a sect of Islam. It's like the Shia and the other, and the Sunni. There's different sects, and this one is persecuted in a lot of Islamic countries. In Pakistan, you have to say that when you take the citizenship test, you're like, hey, I don't consider Ahmadis real Islam. So this guy wants sympathy for the devil. No, I'm not going to give you sympathy, buddy. One British government who stripped her of her if a British government has stripped her of her nationality, then another country would adopt her. Any Muslim country, he told reporters of Batul Fatullah Mosque in modern southeast London ahead of an annual peace conference. Here's the problem I have. You're going to let these people go. The Kurds are not going to be able to house these people forever. And it's it's not going to be reasonable for them to keep these women and children, and because they are women and children, even though they're the enemy, in one place for too long. Since her parents were from Bangladesh, first duty of Bangladesh to take her as a national. They're gonna, if they do take her, they're gonna try to find a way. They're gonna make it as long as possible. It emerged on Friday. Miss Begum, now 19, lost her third child. Medical certificate showed the death of pneumonia a day earlier. The BBC reported. That's sad. I've had pneumonia. It's terrible. You can't really breathe, and the baby can't really do anything. Miss Begum had earlier discussed her fears that she would lose the boy. She said, "It's really not a place for raised children, this camp." Her family, who vowed to appeal against Mr. Javid's decision, had also written to the Conservative minister pleading with him to allow safe passage for the boy to come to the UK. Saturday, his Labour counterpart, Diane Abbott, said, freaking Labour, it's extreme left wing of the British government, had behaved shamefully over the tragedy that might have been avoided. What does she want? She wants to bring these two terrorist children over to the UK so the taxpayers could take care of it. No. I'm conflicted on this. I don't blame the child, but I'm very conflicted. I don't want the child to come here. I don't want the child to stay there either. But it's not the child's fault. It's kind of, I'm kind of conflicted. But you can think of it whatever you want. If the mother of the baby was brought here home, the mother, Shamima Begum, would have faced British justice, but the baby might have lived. Conservative MP Philip Lee told BBC for today's program that he's deeply concerned by Mr. Javid's decision, which is driven a sort of populism. You don't want a populist. I mean, I like the populist fervor since we had a lot of unpopulist governments since at least the last 2 decades. We had the Bush and the Obama governments. I like the populist term, but with populism you get demagogues that promise everything. They can't deliver. Like the Green New Deal. Sure, you wanna invest in new technology, but then there's the social justice thing of you gotta give everyone who are unwilling to work some money. According to Mr. Javid, of moral cowardice after Director of Public Prosecutors Lord MacDonald said he moved risk creating a more dangerous world where stateless individuals roam with no allegiance, and the death of unprotected innocence in case a vulnerable British baby, not dignified, self-important, self-governing state would abandon the responsibility for its own citizens in this way, trying to dump them on poor countries who fail security arrangements, he told the Observer. Debate raged over Ms. Begum's desire to return after resurfaced on the refugee camp last month. She says she wants to return to British since the self-styled caliphate destroyed itself. She had left the Bethel Green East London with two other schools in the ISIS terror group 2015. Conservative Party Chairman Brandon Lewis defended Mr. Javid, telling Today there's no question on the duty of the house security of this country to keep British people safe. The government spokesman, the death of any child is tragic, but deeply stressed the family. Foreign and Commonwealth Office has considerably advised against travel to Syria since 2011. Okay, so I kind of do feel sorry for the child, but it's not the government's fault. It's her fault. She went there, she had the child with a terrorist, and the baby died of pneumonia because her cause died. And I don't really care that much about it. Guys, if you like my content, don't forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe.